Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing great. Alexis, Maria, Simon, Daniel, Matthew, Ryan, and everyone, all the beautiful names. I hope you're doing great. Thank you very much. So, um, just give me a second. My apologies. Okay, everyone, can you please go to call app? That's the first thing that we need to do. And the other thing that we need is please go to the course content. So in another tab, my apologies. Please open the D2L and go to the course content. And you should be able to see week number 3, two things. One of them belongs to week number 3, and the other one belongs to week number 4. Okay. So we are going to see how far we can get. As you see, I mentioned the zero number 4 as well. So part of the file would be covered in today's session, and the other part would be covered in the next session. The add class code that our friend asked is JWDE. So if anyone please type it somewhere and make sure that it works. If it works, please give me number 5. Yes, 5. Awesome, thank you. Okay, awesome. So as I asked you, please open the Google Colab and then click on the upload and drag and drop the file that I have already uploaded for you. So you need to first download it and then drag and drop it to upload. And you should be able to see something similar to this page if it loads. Yeah, okay, lists, ordering, and so on. If you can see that, please type 1. Oh, I haven't changed the screen. This is the screen. Okay. Everyone, please go to all-in-one. Are you there? And if you go to the Tamer, if you want, I can just help you not to distract the others. I know, but it is not funny at all. I have 146 students at the moment. And if I just want to take care of the jokes, we cannot finish anything. So please go there in all-in-one. And the last file that you see, it is interactive Python notebook file. If you can please download it and drag and drop it to the Google Colab. And if it works, please type 2. Alexis, the joke applies to you as well. When I say
Hello, Professor.
please do not open your microphone. Okay, now it's a good time to tell you a thing that a department told me. Let me just be very much direct and brief about this. Guys, whether you like it or not, peoples from this class went to the department saying that exactly they named some of you and said that they distract us, and some profs, they do not take any action. So I should be blamed because of lame jokes that you make and you crack in the class? Is it fair? Instead of asking you to be there, they ask me to be responsible for what you're doing in the class. And I'm just saying it once, and I hope that that never happens again. And that opening the mic happened at least 2 times consecutively in 2 weeks. And I said, don't open your mic. Listen to me. When I get to this class, I assume that all of you are my colleagues. This is not high school. This is not primary school. This is a college. And I assume that all of you are my colleagues. So prove that you are one. And not only for this class, for all the classes. If you think that you are the only person who comes with those kind of lame jokes, think twice. All of us can just crack jokes. But we have a mission that we are here, and I want to take it very serious because this is about your future. If some people don't like about their futures and they're not interested to just get proper, decent jobs, you're going to have at class, feel free to just do whatever you want. Thank you. As I mentioned, Abdul Ghaffar, I intentionally mentioned it week 3 and 4 because I'm not sure how far we can get based on the questions that I receive and based on the things that I need to cover. So for sure, we are going to finish the rest, if we cannot finish everything, in the next week, in the coming week, plus the other file that I have already provided, and that is condition. Okay, so the very first thing that we need to cover for today's session is lists. List has come from a concept. If you have finished your, if you have already finished the data structure, you know that one of the oldest data structure that we had is array. And after array, there was a need to have a more flexible data structure, which was nothing but what they call it linked list. The concept that we have in Python has come from linked list. It is good to know that in the first versions of Python, we didn't have array concept because they thought that list would be enough to cover all the needs. Then the performance issue brought them to provide something that we call it NumPy, a library that supports arrays. Plus, in version 3.6, they added the concept of array. We are going to learn that in the coming semester. So if we briefly want to say, apart the history fact that it has come from linked list, we can say a list is an object that holds a collection of objects. It represents a sequence of data. The funny thing about list is in the structure of Python, it can be any type. So we can have a list of combination of integers, floats, strings, anything. So a list is similar to a string, except a string can hold only characters. There are some differences that we are going to cover today. Okay. So a list can hold any Python object. And a list needs not be homogeneous. That is, the elements of a list do not all have to be of the same type. Okay. These are the samples of lists. You see the first one has just characters, the second one numbers, and the third one negative numbers. The first, it is possible you just say bracket. Inside double quotes, you mention HELLO, and it's exactly the same as the second one if you say list hello. So it's going to split it into different elements. So, and we're going to talk about them. So everybody, you already have the file. You already uploaded that. And then please run this. And see if it works. I'm going to just briefly answer the questions that are relevant to the course. For the assignments, still, we are not there yet for assignment number 1, but Maziar is the one who is taking care of it. So whatever Maziar says is my word as well. So he's the one who is going to take care of it. Just a due is going to be aligned with the course outline. So please just check the course outline, the week number, and I'm going to be in touch with Maziar just to properly define a Dropbox for it. Okay, everybody who could finish that, list hello 1, and then try the second one. You can simply say print list hello 1, and it's going to show you like that, and list hello 2, the same result. If everything works fine for you guys, please type 1. The definition of assignment 1 and assignment 2 are already there. As you see here, we haven't defined the Dropbox folder for it. You're going to have it pretty soon, but the deadline is not there yet, at least 1 week ahead of time. But if you want to start working on it, the assignment is already there. Okay, the next thing that I want you to do is understanding the concept of index. So if I say, go and pick the index number 2 for me, the index number 0 is H, the index number E is 1, and the index number 2 is L. So simply I can say, please print the index number 2 among the list, and it's going to pick L for you. And if I say index minus 3, index minus 1 is O, index minus 2 is L, and it's going to pick index minus 3, which is again L. Okay. One of the thing is, what if I want a fraction of the list? Sometimes you have a list contains several items, and you just want to pick a fraction of it to start testing on it. This is something that we much do in deep learning and in machine learning. So how we can pick part of it? Very simple. You start from okay. Please ask assignment questions from Maziar, as I mentioned. But if you want to start working on it, if you go to your course here in the course content, you can see we have the assignments and term project already there, but there is no folder opened yet. At least 7 days before the due, we are going to just make an assignment Dropbox for you. Okay. Any question not about the things that I'm covering at the moment, please leave it at the end of the session, at the end of the class, if you have time. Otherwise, Mazia would be more than happy to help me to covering those kind of parts that I cannot help you in the class. Thank you. So what if I say start from index number 1 all the way to 4? Guys, do you think that it is going to contain index 4 as well? Yes or no? Please type Y or N. Lovely. Look at this one. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. So ELL. If it contains 4, it should have O2. Let's see. But as you see, it's going to have just E, index 1, 2, 3, but not 4. Always, always in Python, everywhere in Python, the left side is inclusive and the right side is inclusive and the right side is exclusive. So we are not going to have 4. It's going to be like we are starting from 1 all the way to 4, but not 4. When you don't mention anything, it means either from the beginning, if it is on the left side, or till the end, if it is on the right side. So when we say everything colon 2 means everything from the beginning all the way to 2, means H 0, 1, but not 2. How about this one? -3 all the way to 2. So let me just run these things. You can understand 3 would be 0, 1, sorry, -1, -2, -3. So it's going to be L all the way to -2, but not -2 the same way. So it's going to be that L. One question, what is the guess if I just change that one into -4? What's going to be the answer? What's your guess? Okay, try it. Guys, very simple. Try it. Nothing, because you start and you should end to something on the right side, right? You should go from, for instance, H, E, L. You say that start from -3 and go backward. That's not correct. So this is the start. You cannot go before the start, right? That is why it goes to nothing. It shows nothing. We have some of the methods that we are going to use. Len, sum, min, and max. So let's see what's going to happen. Everybody, please run this line. It's going to be 2, 10, 7, and 15 in your list. Simply, you can say, hey, how many numbers do we have? How many elements do we have? By saying len, it's going to show you 4. And if you say, what is the minimum number that we have in the list? It's going to show you -2. And the maximum, for sure, it's 15. And is it possible to just calculate the sum? Yep. As simple as that. What about the average? So average is nothing but the sum divided by length. That's going to show you the average here, right? So when you say average and when you say print average, they give you the same result, right? There is one thing. In 90% of the cases, using and not using print would be the same. Okay, how about that? Those 10% cases. We are going to cover part of it today. So guys, if everything is clear and you could follow whatever I told you so far till this very moment, please type 5. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, now we are going to work with the other methods like append, sort, count, index, reverse, remove, pop, and insert. Everybody, please run this. And whenever we say append, it's going to just add the element that we want to append at the end of the list. So it should come after 15. So look at this one. Yeah, it's going to be 2, 10, all the way to 17. Okay, now there's a question. If I say my list.sort, is it going to just show the sorted list, or originally it's going to change the place? Is it going to be just showing the sorted list, or is it actually changing the order? Is it just show or change the place? Okay, we see some of our friends believe that it is show, and some say it's actually the original. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna say my list.sort, and to prove which one is this, if I just say my list, you see that it is already sorted. It depends on nothing, Oleg. It's just sort the origin. Okay. How about the case that you want to just show it at not changing? Is there a way to do so? We are gonna learn that in a few seconds. But everybody, lovely, Adi, bravo. Yeah. Okay. Everybody, please see how many 10 we have in the list. Say my list that counts 10. You see that it's going to show you the number of 10s that you have. And let's just see what are the indices of 10s that we have. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. What do you think it's going to show you? The first one or the last one? 3 or 4? Excellent. It's going to show you the first one that it fetches. Awesome. This is super important, and I designed the quizzes for you based on sort and reverse. Make sure that you're gonna use pen and paper to manually write the answer step by step. Yes, we are gonna do that too. We use insert for it. Okay. Can you please try this one? It's already sorted from 2 to 17. No worries, we're going to try. And now say, show me the my list content. So it's going to be from 17 all the way to 2. No, the quiz would be after the class. Okay, everyone. If you can get the result the way that we see it here on the screen so far, please type 1. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go to the next item and let's look at it. If you want to get rid of one item like 15, you're going to say remove that item from the list. And if you say, hey, print the result for me, it's going to be 17, 10, 10, and not 15 among the list. Yes, Shahir, that's correct. Okay. How about pop? Look at this one. If I say pop 4, what's going to happen? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pop means, imagine that I have 5 cards in my hand, right? I'm going to take card index 4, starting from 0, out and showing it to the user means bringing the value into my pop. And then, yeah, it's not going to be in the list anymore. So I'm going to just run this line. So now inside pop, we have number 2, as you see. And if you say, hey, show me the list, the previously indexed number 4 is out of the list. And now this is a new list. Does that make sense? Ali, you have the whole file. Make sure that you have. The reason that you could see error is you have either forgotten to run any of the previous elements, or you have you ran that line 2 times. For instance, in here, if I say, please remove it again, if I run it 2 times, because there is no 15 anymore, it's gonna give me error. Look at this one. Because I have already deleted that one, it's going to tell me, hey, I don't have that one. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's go to the next part together. The question that I received a few seconds ago from one of the team members saying that, what if I want to insert something like in the list? If I'm not mistaken, the question was that. So I want to add in position in index number 2. So it means that, guys, this is index number 0, 1. So between these two tens, so in a new index 2, add number 23. And if you do so, you're going to see 23 is added between these two numbers. Okay. And now let's go to the next part together and say in index number 2, which we have that 23, please just replace it with 100 and please run that and see what's going to be the result. So for seeing that, you just need to add, look at here. I just hovered the mouse here and I said insert a code, something like this. And simply you can just say my list. And it's going to show you that there is no 23 anymore and it is replaced by 100. Right? Okay. I received this question, what if I want to run all the cells? There is one menu here. If you click there, we have run all. And there is another thing that you can say restart and run all. So in that case, the counters would start from number 1. So I'm not going to do it at the moment because it's going to take a while to get there, but that's your answer. Okay. Okay, so what about this? If I say new list is equal to 1, 2, 3, everybody please run that slide. My pleasure. And then say whatever your list is, please add. That's another way. So we learned append. We learned how to use insert. And this is another way that you can add something to the list, but this is going to be more like concatenation of the old list with a new list. So everyone, please run that. And if you say my list, it's going to show you something like this. Okay. I'm not going to go further to make sure everybody is aligned with this speed. So please, if you're done, give me a high five, type 5, please. Thank you very much. Okay. My apologies. Let's go to the next part. The thing is, maybe it's a little bit confusing if you say whatever the list is multiplied to. Maybe people think that it's going to multiply the content. That's a good thing to ask in the quizzes. Yes. Good question, Ward. It's going to follow the same order. So this is the old list that we had, if you look, and a new list is added at the end of it, the same order. So now if I say my list multiplied 2, you see that it's like having this list concatenate with the same list again. True. Okay. How about, yes, let's just bring our attention back to the list. And then there's something, if you say my new list, you remember my new list had 1, 2, 3. And if you say clear it and you say show the my new list content, it's going to show you nothing. So you already deleted all the elements. Okay. So important note, there's a big difference between list method and string method. The string methods do not change the original string. In other words, they are called by value. But list methods do change the original list called by reference. What does it mean? So everybody, make sure that you run this line saying test contains a string hello. And if you say, hey, go and change the string that you have means hello, go and find small h, replace it with capital H, the result would be like this. Done. But what is your guess if I say show me test? Is it going to be hello with small letter or capital letter? Is it going to be with H or capital H? I mean, small h or lowercase small. Yeah. Lovely. Yes, because as you see here, it mentioned that the string methods do not change the original string, but list methods do change the original. We have that. So if, okay, let's just show you the stuff here. If somebody says, what if, Reza, I want to overwrite? What if I want to overwrite the content of S and replace that hello with that capital letter? Very simple. You are gonna say, go to hello, small letter, replace small h with capital, and then just save it, overwrite the content of S. So a new S would have hello with capital letter. So it's going to be very simple, just replacing the current value. Please make sure that you run the code and you get the same result. Lovely. When you want to have the change persistently, you need to overwrite the current content of the string value. This is how it works. Okay. I want to tell you a very important point. Look at this one. Here, I changed the value and it showed the change the value. It said something. It means that I'm not gonna do it. Sure, I will. It means that I'm not gonna do the changes. See, this is gonna be the result of saying whatever is inside test and changing small h into capital H. Dorsa, can you relate to that? Here, I just show that if I replace small h with capital H, the result would be this one. But I'm not gonna touch the original value. I just show what if I change it. Does that make sense so far? Awesome. So it just shows. But here in this line, I say, Dorsa, tell me just this part that I highlighted. What is the output of this? Hello with a small h or hello with capital H? Read it, please. Hello with a small h or with capital H. I said go and replace every small h with capital H. I'm talking about just this part. Okay. Give me a second, please. Everybody can see, can you see the whiteboard now? Okay, so please later remind me to get back to the other screen. Whenever I say thank you very much. Whenever I say, for instance, test is equal to hello. And when I say test dot replace small h with capital H, means that go to the string wherever we have small h, replace it with capital H, and show it. So the result of these two lines is going to be showing, just showing hello. Those are the question. What happened to the original string? Did we change that? Okay, awesome, lovely. Thank you, Dorsa. Thank you, Oleg. Look at this one, please. Now, if I say here, just exactly here, the output of this was what? Was hello, but we didn't store it in anywhere. The output of this was hello. What if you say, okay, replace it, put it inside the test that you had? What is the content of test after that? Can you tell? Means that overwrite whatever we had here, which was hello with a small h, replace it with, yeah, we changed the original, right? So is it now clear 100%? Thank you very much. Awesome. Okay, let's get back to the, okay, awesome. Guys, I want to tell you one thing. Whenever just you show something and you're not going to save it anywhere, it shows the result here. I repeat it almost all the time. Whenever you just see the result in your Python commands, it just show it and it doesn't change the original value. But look at here. It does something and it didn't say anything. So technically something has changed. What does it mean? It means that for sure you have tested this part before. You have tested this part before. Let me just say if s is hello with a small s. And I set my apologies. And you have seen the result of that, which is going to be hello with capital H. And now I'm sure just run it, replace the left side with this value. You see that there is no output. Whenever there is no output, means that something has changed. Okay. So now if you check the result, it says, yes, I have changed that hello with a small and changed it to hello with capital. That's a kind of rule of thumb. Okay. Now we get to something. We have a list of strings, as you see. And there is funny. If I say my list, guys, you remember that. If I have, you remember that list changes the things originally. If I have my list, I don't know, 02, which is this. And if I say my list number 2, dot sort, tell me what is going to happen, everybody. It's going to show you A, B, 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 C, 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 and D, D, right? It feels sorted. Let's just see that. Control C. It's going to show you a sorted version, right? Call by reference. It changes the original. We are talking about the lists. Lovely. Yes, Ahmed. Now, I want you to think about this. What if I say list.sort, my list.sort, and bring the value inside my list? What's going to happen? What is inside my list now? Anybody can guess? Excellent. Think about the logic behind it. Guys, whenever you say my list.sort means, hey, go and do something. Go and sort the original value. It is just an action. There is no output for it. So you just did something, and the output of that, if you put it inside my list, it's nothing. No value is the output. You just went to the original list and you have sorted them. You did something. You didn't return something. You know what I'm saying? So that is why if simply you just say my list is equal to list.sort, the output of one action is not any value. So if you should say, what is the output of, what is the, I'm sorry, I shouldn't run it 2 times. It's gonna just give error then. And then if you say, hey, what is the output? It's gonna show you none, nothing. Awesome. Okay. So you see, this is how it works. If you just simply say my list.sort and my list, it's gonna show you the sorted list. In other words, I intentionally use all these words. These terminologies are going to be used in next semester. We say the change happened in place. So there's a keyword that we use in pandas and numpy, and that is in place equal to true. The default for most of the commands that we work with is in place equal to false, means, hey, just first check. If you're sure, then we are gonna change it for you. You need to say in place equal to true. Okay. Awesome. Some of our friends might need more exercises and samples. So I have provided this W3 schools for you. I have borrowed some examples from there. So you can just go and work on those things. But that was a question that they asked you a few seconds ago. What if you just want to show the sorted values and you do not want to change the order of the original list? So now if you look at the time, it's 2:49, almost 2:50. So I think that we deserve to have 10-minute break. So please just have a quick rest, and we are going to continue sharp at 3 o'clock. Thank you very much. If you can hear me clearly, please type 1. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So the thing is, as you can see here, we have 2 assignments, and the time that we need to define it, not the date, the due date for those assignments, would be week number 4 and week number 9, which would be next week. So next week you're gonna have officially the Dropbox for assignment number 4, and you have 1 week to finish it. So week number 5 is gonna be the due for that. The same for assignment number 2. So the due for assignment number 2 would be week number 10. So you're gonna have it assignment number 2 in week number 9, and you have 1 week to finish it. The same for the term project. So you know that we have 15 weeks. You're gonna have the term project in week number 12, and then you have 1 week to finish it. Okay. Okay. Guys, let me just tell you a few things about I received that question that, okay, where is the content? Okay. I already answered that. I said you can simply go to this, which is the first announcement, week number 1, that I have mentioned in here. But just to let you know, guys, there are some things that are my responsibilities, and there are some things that I do as just doing it because I want to make it accessible and nicely accessible for everybody. I'm not responsible to record the session whatsoever. And I just do it because if everybody wants to, we have some people that they have different abilities and they prefer to watch it with subtitles. YouTube is a nice place for those people. There are cases that people cannot attend the class. This is just a kind of backdoor, a backup for those people. So just to have a kind of relief, okay, I can just attend later and just watch the video. I hope I answered that question. So there is no obligation for me whatsoever to record the session. And it's like the old story that a man with a son went to a trip having a donkey, and everybody started saying that, what if the old guy rides the donkey, and whatever I do, there would be some suggestions and some opinions which is going to contradict what I'm doing. So long story short, if the semester is over, you cannot access this. Many people want to review the contents later. And for instance, just review the things that we have covered together about list or tuples or dictionary or something like that. So simply you can just find the YouTube available forever. But when the semester is over, these links that you have accessible in here would not be there anymore. And downloading the content from Zoom is not easy. You need to do lots of things to just install some applications to download if you want. But for YouTube, you can download it with online applications very easy. Can you please give us 2 weeks for assignment and projects? Actually, you already have the assignment. So imagine that I give you the assignment today. I received that question. That's a very valid question. Guys, imagine that today I opened that assignment. You had it week number 1. So imagine that today I defined it, and the due is gonna be week number 5. So now you have 2 weeks. Did I answer that question as well? So you have 2 weeks from now, right? And honestly, the assignment shouldn't take very much of your time. It's a good practice for you to review everything. And the last thing that I want to tell is about the midterm. The midterm is going to be on week number 7. And I promise that at least 2 weeks in advance, I'm going to talk about the conditions, the things that we are going to have. So I talked and we verified all the possibilities. The best is to keep it online, like the classes, in the time that we have our lectures. I strongly recommend that everybody attend sharp at 2 o'clock to the session, because the exam, if you, for any reason, you miss the exam, then it's not going to be easy for you to find a spot. And the makeup exam is going to be hands-on, not necessarily as easy as what you see in the midterm. Okay? Plus, you need to provide all the needed documents to prove that why you couldn't attend the midterm and final. We have lots of regulations for that. Is it clear for everybody? Okay, so the test would be restricted. The test would be restricted from 2 o'clock. I'm not very much sure about the number of questions yet, but it's not going to be more than 1.5 hours. So make sure that you're going to be available, sharp on time. And the thing is, for people who have different, they have extended time, it's going to be considered as well automatically. If there is any concern, any question happens, I will be there. I will be online to answer you. I said it a few seconds ago. It's going to be online, exactly like quizzes that you participate every week. But it's going to be just from 2 o'clock all the way to 3:30 maximum. I'm talking about the regular. Yeah. So, guys, is it clear? If you got it that the midterm is online, please type Mo, midterm online. Thank you. Yes, means that it is restricted to that time frame. Anybody attends after 3:30, they already missed the test. They should go to the department, lots of bureaucratic processes to get permission. And the makeup test is not going to be the same as this one. Long story short, if I know that what I'm going to see for the makeup, I prefer to just be in midterm test. Sorry for the typo. It says midterm, which is midterm. Okay. I hope I answered all the concerns. The next thing that we want to cover, let me just. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the, everybody please type 1. Okay. Everybody run this line. And if you say, X is equal to sorted A, listen to this part. What is X? X is the result of sorted A. Means that A is going to be like A, B, C, D, and so on. And then if you say print A, you see that it is intact. Nothing is changed. So the original value, that is the question of one of my friends asked before the break. What if we want to keep the original values? So let's go further. Imagine that we have temps contain these floating numbers. Just please run it and see what is happening. We want just to say it is possible to have a list of floating numbers. But the problem is Python is not wise enough to use this similarity to save memory and increase the performance. That's the nature of list. Pedro, I cannot understand your question. Let's talk about it later. In general, the quizzes starts almost at the end of the session that we have, and you have 3 days, 3.5 days to finish it by Thursday night. That's something that we always have. Okay. And look at the other one, which is inventory. And if you say inventory, it's going to tell you that we have list of strings, but the next part shows the flexibility of list inside the Python. So you can have string, integers, and doubles or floats. And then how about this? Everybody, please just type this one, movie, and it's going to show you what you have stored in that. Is it possible to have a list that contains nothing, a null list? Yes. Look at this one, please. If you say it's going to say, hey, we have nothing inside it. Everybody try scores equal to 0, multiply 5. Could you finish it, everyone? If you say scores equal to 0, multiply 5, it's going to show zeros 5 times. Okay, if everybody could do that, please type 2. Okay, let me tell you something in general. Guys, if there is something that I'm telling, there's a kind of a story behind it. We want to start from somewhere and getting somewhere. Did I talk about tuples at the moment? You know, there isn't anything about that. Guys, I said please type 2 because I didn't want to just have those things on the screen and people do not get distracted. So would you please type 1 again and then do not type anything else? Thank you very much. Okay, And the thing is, I audit a course at the moment in one of the advanced data science courses, and there are some people there that they ask things because they know some topics, and they ask, and they deviate the class to somewhere that nobody can understand. So the best is, guys, if you want to participate in any class, see what is the flow. If you have something that is out of the scope of what the prof or the instructor is telling, please keep it for the lab and when the number of people are not 167. Otherwise, if any question is answered like that, we are going to just lose the track of course the way that we want to continue. Look at this one. Here I have scores and I say, let's add these 3 elements to those 5. Can you please guess what would be the output of that? Excellent. All the answers were correct. Lovely. Look at this one, please. As our friend addressed, if you just say scores now, it's going to be 0, 0, 0. I mean, 5 zeros and the 3 ones at the end. Now, this is super important. What about extend? Is it like append, you think? Yes or no? Excellent. Adi said the correct answer. It's not like append, actually. Look at the difference between these two. If I say, show me the result now, you see 2 and 2 are the last 2 elements. But instead of extend, if I say append, what's going to happen? Look at this one now. Do you see this? It looks at whatever you want to append as one element. It's going to append the list of 2 and 2, not extend that. Did you get the difference? So this is the extend. This is the appending of these 2 elements. Huh? No, there is no math behind it, honestly. My math is not that much strong, so it's simple. Let's just go to this part. Let's just have score again. So guys, oopsie. So we have scores which consist of 5 zeros. Everybody could get that. We just concatenate 3 ones. It's like adding those ones at the end. So now scores contain 5 zeros and 3 ones. And if I say extend and run the code and see the result, you see that it is going to extend whatever we have, adding these 2 elements at the end. So it's like adding this, like concatenating this at the end. But what if I say append? The problem of append is it's going to consider, look at this one. It's going to consider whatever we pass in here as a new element, like A, B, C. So it's going to attend that as one element at the end. Does that make sense? Exactly, Fatima. So intentionally, I changed it to ABC to make sure that we do not get confused and we do not think that it's a kind of math things. It's totally Python programming thing. Okay. So if everybody is happy with that and you can relate to whatever we said so far, please just type 1. Thank you very much. Okay. The next one, I'm sure that you can guess what's going to happen. we need to use characters double of this. Simple. That's it. Okay. There are several ways. One of them is this. Everybody, please type this one, run this one, and say new scores. It's going to be 291, 291, 291. Right? And then, again, temp. What if I say temp 0? What's going to happen? Temps 0. Excellent, Matthew, thank you. It's going to show you the content that you have in index number 0. What about, lovely, yes, Abdul Ghaffar. How about -5? Guys, it is -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be that. And if you just try something out of the scope, it's going to raise error. Like if you say -6, right? We don't have that, so it's going to raise error. List index out of the range, right? How about if we say temp number 1? It's going to just give you the same result as when you say -5, right? Oh, sorry, -4. So this is index number 1 or -4. So you see that here we have 30, or if you say -4, it's going to just do the same thing. So I have provided the list for you and the expected output, so you can simply run every single of these guys in a separate cell, right? Just give yourself 10 seconds. Please read these outputs. And if everything is super clear, please give me high five, type 5. Excellent. Lovely. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next part and say temps is equal to 48, 30, 20, and so on. And now what we are going to do is we say the output of this one is inside temp. And let's just save the values. You can simply use, and now we overwrite it with that one. If you just say, what about number 5? We don't have index number 5. This is going to raise error. Well, I'm mentioning this 2 times in 2 different occasions because one of the most common errors that we receive is when you want to go through the items of a list or an array and you get outside the scope in any language. The good thing about Python is it's like for each style. You hardly can just mess up with the index. Okay, everybody, please say inventory is equal to all these values and then have the items. Definitely if you say 5 and 3, they can find it. But if you say 6, because we have 6 items, the indices would be from 0 to 5. It cannot find it, and it's going to raise exactly this error. Index out of bounds error. Maria, bravo. That's it. Excellent. Okay. How about temp? Let's change the value for temps 3 and say it's equal to 98. So it is going to overwrite the value. That's the thing that we have in list. And now I want to get ahead of myself for a second and tell you it is possible to change the values in list. And if you just change the concept to something like tuple, you cannot change it because it's not changeable. So the difference between list and tuple could be this one, apart from, I mean, just showing parentheses instead of brackets. So some people say square bracket and I don't know, parentheses. So this one shows that we have a list. And soon we are going to just start knowing about tuples. So the inventory says it is 4. Oh, sorry. We say that, what about the values that we had in index 4? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to replace the value that we have index 4 with a new value, as you see. And if I just run that line and say, okay, show me the value and new values, that's going to show you that in index number 4, we have already changed. I'll stop here for a sec, making sure that everybody could run all the commands so far. Okay, now we are about to start the list methods. You already have worked with all of them, so we just quickly review. Would you please confirm by typing 1 that everything is done and you are in this stats equal to 48.0? Abdul Ghaffar, Ali, Matthew, Murad, thank you. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Awesome. Lovely. And now you can guess, if I just append 99.5 at the end of the list, what's going to happen? Look at this one. Now it's going to just add that element at the end. And it's not a list of elements, right? It's just one element. The same applies. I received that question, if you remember, an hour ago, that what if I want to insert in the middle of the list? So guess what? This is the index number 0, 1, 2, and it's going to be between 2 and 3, right? So I'm going to add rope after shoes and before bread. So if I just check the inventory, it's going to be after shoes and before the bread. And if you just say, okay, I don't want to have shoes in the inventory, you can just simply say remove. And the result would be, guys, do you see that it is silent? When it is silent, means something has happened. Means if you just check, you see that, yes, shoes is not there anymore. Exactly. If it is silent, we should be careful, means something has already done. Okay, how about pop? If you don't mention anything, and if you say inventory pop, imagine that what are the cards that they have? The first card is staff, hat, robe, and bread. It's gonna take the last card, show it to the user, means that you can save it into something. It shows that to a user and then delete it from the list, right? So if I say pop without saying any number or index, it's gonna show that. So item now contains bread. And then the inventory doesn't have bread anymore. The other question that I received was, Reza, is it possible that I say, for instance, I want to get rid of hat? Yeah, you can simply say that, hey, show me the card that you have index number 1. I'm going to bring the card up. So hat is written on it. I'm going to show it to you. It's here. And if you just check the inventory, there is no hat in the inventory anymore. Okay, give yourself time. I don't want to rush. Please make sure that you could finish everything all the way to the index and pop. And please, if everything is fine, give me another high five, type 5. Thank you. Merci. Awesome. Thank you very much. So now, because we have already changed the inventory, Let's reset it by saying inventory is equal to staff, hat, row, and bread. And now again, type the content of inventory. It should show you everything. And what if you say, hey, what is the index of hat? And what if we have two hats? Check it later. I'm not going to answer that. These are the things that we can just, be curious and say, okay, Reza said just index of hat, and we had just only one in index number one. So technically I should show one. And is it possible that I search in one program, okay, what is that index, save it somewhere, and then pop it means that just show it, and then we shouldn't have hat anymore in the list? Yeah, you're right. Was it possible to save it somewhere? Yes, you could simply say A, B, C, D, for example, equal to that. Let me just get to, and my apologies. If I say A, B, C, D, for example, let's just, run this one again. So, and say I is one, and then what if I just save that when I show the card, save it in A, B, C, D, and it shows that yes, we have hat there, but in inventory, we do not hat anymore. We just popped it. And len is exactly something funny. We just used, let me just see if I can, no, it's not the, guys, I take your time for a few seconds, if you don't mind, intentionally, to show you that whenever we learn something here, it's not just saying it today and we leave it tomorrow. High probably most of us need to review all these concepts later, over and over. You see, that's the len kind of thing. And this is the advanced data science that we are going to pretty soon work on. And look at this one. We use shape. Do you see the len? Okay. Guys, these are the things that you learned today. It's like jigsaw puzzle pieces. Tomorrow, you're going to just put them together, make a beautiful picture. And that is why every single session that you come to the class, apart from giving me the privilege to sharing the things that I think would be beneficial for you, is a building block of one of the building blocks of the future. The question that I received is, can you combine things like pop and append? And okay, definitely you can. You just need to make sure that if the inner one works, and then to add it, definitely the answer is correct. And we need to, just for every single cases, we need to, just go through that and see. My quick answer is yes, we can. So len inventory, and it's going to show you 3 here. And what about this one? Let's just reset our list. And imagine that I'm saying that let's have item equal to bread. And I'm going to say for every item in inventory, if item is inside inventory, then remove it. The good thing about this one is, guys, if you do it several times, you remember that once we did that, and one of our friends asked me that, Reza, why I received error, and immediately I said, there's a chance that it could be you haven't executed the original list, and we don't have anything in the list, so you can't delete something that you do not have it, or you already deleted and you want to delete it 2 times, so it's not possible. So it's going to raise error. This is a beautiful way to just get rid of those potential errors. Imagine that right now. Let me just show you something here. If I say, show me the inventory here, it's going to show you that we have a staff, hat, bread, potion, and if I say the item bread, and if this item is inside inventory, remove it. Look at this one. If I say that, show me the content of inventory, and it's going to tell you that, hey, we don't have bread anymore. And now, if you just say delete that, guys, that's a nice thing about this condition. You make your code more robust, because you said if you have that, then delete it. But let's see if I get rid of that part. You see that maybe people thought that I didn't run that. So let me just run it once again. So no error, and you see that it's 176. But if I get rid of that part, what's going to happen? Look at this. If there's no, it's going to say, hey, come on, we don't have item, we don't have bread, and how we can just delete that. Does that make sense? Okay. If everything is super clear, would you please type 1? Okay, lovely. So let's go to the next part together, and that is inventory again. And we just run that and we print it, and it's going to just show this. Okay. Before I continue, it's almost 1 hour and a few minutes that everybody helped me to keep the environment professional. I need to appreciate and tell you something. I never like to sound like an old guy or a grandpa or something. While whether I want it or not, I'm getting closer and closer to that age. But the thing is, the reality is, every session that we have, I know I was exactly in those places that you are already in. And I remember the energy, the level of energy that I had, and I wanted to explode the whole world, doing everything, and I cannot completely understand. But I wish there was a kind of situation that somebody told me that, hey, can you please turn off your phone, put it inside your bag, just for 2 hours, be here. And right after that, go and do whatever you like. So um, I'm sure that those friends that they want to continue this journey, you're going to need this. If the future, if we think that um, tomorrow we are going to just finish our education here and we go as the graduates of George Brown, and there would be a kind of red carpet. If you just know how to design a website or something, guys, time is changed. Every day I study and I think that I'm behind what I need to know, honestly. So it's a kind of competition. I don't want to frighten you, but I'm saying that these steps are serious, that we study and we do it together. So that is why I don't know about you, but that's just one example. I last night I slept quite well. So I slept 1 o'clock. I woke up 6 just to start preparing the things and making sure that for all the classes that I have, deep learning, your class, and the next class, which is database, I have provided everything, double checked, making sure that the quiz is ready, and so on. So it needs a kind of collaboration and cooperation. We are a team. I don't want to exclude anyone from this team whatsoever. Thank you again. Let's continue. So if I say that the inventory is here, and if I just run it, you see that these are the elements that we have there. And then if I say, okay, for every item in inventory, guys, this is, you remember that I started the class saying that most of the cases, if you say print any variable, or if you say that only variable, in both cases, they work the same, except a few cases. If you remember that, please type 2. So if you say print a variable, or if you say variable, most of the time it shows the content. But let's look at it here. I run the code, and then I'm going to just say item, not print item. Look what's going to happen. Nothing. So this is one of the rare cases. Long story short, if you use any for or any type of loop, please make sure that you use print. Do not leave it just the value over there. Use print for sure. Okay, Reza, in general, is there a formula that I know where to use print, where not to use print? Okay, the best is always use print. At least it's more readable, especially for the people that they have come from all the other languages like Java, that they say system.out.println, or they have come from C# that they say console.writeline. So print is a kind of decent replacement for them. If they just see item, they don't know what to do with it if they are a newbie in Python. So let's go to the next part. And we say that the scores is equal to 70, 80, 90, and 100. And total is equal to 0. Look at this one. We are gonna say for every score in scores, that's a beautiful type of naming it. So customer, customers, product, products in databases, in programming, that's the best way of naming them. So and not necessary, you can just use for A in scores. Just get every element and add it to the total, and it's gonna be, yeah, 340. Lovely, Abdul Ghaffar. Yes, exactly. And yeah, just let's do it again. This time we are gonna use while. So as long as this is one of the places that we might make mistake. So instead of for, which is kind of for each kind of thing inside Python, if you use while look at this one. If you just say, as long as I is less than the length of this, so the length is 4, so it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, but not 4. So you're safe. It's going to just calculate that. But if accidentally we make that mistake and say equal, so you see, out of boundary, right? So make sure that everything works here. And if everything works fine, please type 3 this time. Thank you. Lovely. Excellent. Okay. This is the first time that we want to start working on a method. Okay, method is fun. Let's define something. One of the most common mistakes, I made that mistake hundreds of times, is forgetting putting colon at the end. So always if you see that the error just appears, remember Reza that always forgets adding colon at the end. So name of we have def for function, defining a function, and then the name of a function, the input values that you have, and say, okay, let's just add them together, return them here, save them in my result, and return my result value. So this is just a function definition. You need to have a function call. So I'm going to just use my function, say my sum, and it's going to add those two values. And as you see, it's going to be 30. Okay. How about this one? A very simple function. This is the snake mode of defining functions. That's fine. So double the number. And if you just run, you're going to see, yes. If the number is 25, it's going to return the value inside value2. And the thing is, guys, I passed value 1 as a parameter, and value 2 is going to save the return of that. So the original value for value 1 is intact, 25. And value 2 keeps the double here. So it's going to be 15, right? Okay. Maybe we think that there's something is happening. I'm not aware of it. Very simple. Instead of using breakpoint in some languages that we have, like PyCharm, very decent way of tracing and debugging the code. So here we need to do something similar to that. So let's just print the value that we have inside. Say, okay, whatever you get, you double the value. So print inside the function, what is that value that you're going to return? Does that make sense? Okay, let's run it and see what is happening. So this time it shows that this is inside the function. So we triggered that line and it shows the value is 50 because we already have doubled it, right? And still, because it is value 1, we copied, it's a deep copy. We copied the value of it inside this argument, right? And then it shows the result as you see here. Okay. So how about this? Imagine that I have a list like the things that we had in inventory, and I want to add one item into it. Definitely it's going to just add it at the end, unless that you use insert. Okay, let's do it. The list was, if the list is staff, hat, and bread, and we want to add row, it's going to just add it at the end. And if you just print the inventory, it's going to just add the row at the end. Okay, awesome. So how about this one? In this example, we are getting closer to the real world examples. Like we do not have just one attribute that defines students or human or something. We have first name, last name, maybe ID, the number of courses they have, for example, or the scores that they attained in any. So in that cases, we need to have a list of lists. So every one of these guys are like one row, one sample. We have heard about it in spreadsheets like Excel. So you call this row. The same thing in databases, we call them record. The same thing in deep learning, machine learning, we call them samples or examples. Okay, so let's just run that one. Forget about the names, list of lists for now. And then let's imagine that we have something even more complex, like we have 3 different movies. So list of movies, list of lists. And look at this one. And now let's go and say, okay, so imagine that we have just 2 movies. We have just 2 movies, right? And imagine that I defined an empty list called movie, right? And I'm gonna just say append that. At your convenience, try to break this code down into several cells. I'm gonna do it in front of you. And just give me a second. So what if I say, show me the content of movie? Let me just run this one. So it's, I'm sorry, movie. If I just run this line, what? If I just run this line, it's gonna just show me movie, and then movie is gonna be nothing. And if I run that line, to save our time, you see now it has just that one. And if I append the other thing at the end, it's gonna just, and I checked it again, so it's gonna be the meaning of life and 1983. And then if I just add this line as well as the score and just run it again, so it's gonna just show you, now we have a full movie, the same as the things that we have there, yes. And finally, if you just say, what are the movies that we had originally, these 2, and what if you say append this list at the end, and now look at it, it's going to show you everything that you have there. So because it's like exactly 3:50, I don't want to take your precious time anymore. So I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much for participating in the class. And hopefully we're going to continue our journey next week. Have a wonderful one. Take care of yourself. See you. Ciao.